little bit of leather and a little bit of lace. My oh my mother had a pretty face. My mother was a goddess. She was a pagan. My dad, he was from the stars. He left his face a calling card on a planet Mars.
I'm Tibock. I'm here at Shore Leave 28. I'm here in the garden, and I am with
Robert Glick.
Robert. Got a couple of questions for you, okay?
Okay,
Well, I heard you got this book that's coming out, or you got this book you're working on right now.
correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Well, the book is called Grappo Adventures. Grappo being this great invention that has all sorts of powers that make a world, turn a world into a paradise. However, the Grappo really is the figment of the main character, Richard Green's imagination. In the story, Richard Green is just an ordinary guy living an ordinary life when suddenly an object appears in the sky that is a mystery, and a shuttle rendezvous with it and finds out that it's a broken down craft with a person in it. And because the craft's broken down, the only way the person or humanoid figure, he's in a spacesuit, so they don't know at this point, the only way he can communicate is through writing notes. The problem is the notes are in an alphabet that no one understands, except for the main character, Richard Green. Richard Green, when he was in 4th grade, he started developing this alphabet so he could write notes to himself that nobody else could read. And he's watching this rendezvous on TV, and he's able to read the notes, and so he gets in touch with NASA, and he's able to communicate with this mysterious being. And the story goes from there. And who is this being? And
I heard this has a little bit of a biblical background into it as well.
well, there is a part in the story where they do go back into the time of Jesus to observe and see who Jesus is. Because of course, with the Grappo, you can do almost anything, and they go back to the time of Jesus, and they find out that Jesus is just an ordinary person who actually was not a immaculate conception, but was conceived by Mary being raped by Roman guards. And Mary then quickly marries her fiance or boyfriend Joseph, that nobody would know who, if she got pregnant, who would be the father. But as soon as Jesus is born, Mary and Joseph can see that it's not their child, that it really was a Roman child, but they never say anything. But they, because of that, they never really loved Jesus. And Jesus grows up an maladjusted child who, in his adulthood, tries to get love by being this self-proclaimed prophet. So there is a biblical side to it. Definitely not within line of the Gospels, but.
Okay. And tell me, how many books are you writing to make this like?
Right, I currently have 3 books, to make it simple, or Grappo Adventure 1, 2, and 3, each subtitled. And I've currently, in fact, just yesterday, while watching Masquerade, realized the path and have already written at least 2/3 of the 4th book.
Sounds good. How big are these books tend to be?
Well, the first book is the biggest one. It's really where I poured out my whole heart and my soul into it. And it's probably, if you were to make it in a format of a regular book, probably somewhere around 500-600 pages. The second one would probably be about 300 pages. The third one maybe about 250. And I don't know how the 4th one is because I haven't done it yet.
Okay. And tell me, what happens in the story a little bit? Just a
Okay.
little quick summary.
Well, in the first story, Richard, because he's the only one who can communicate with this unknown alien, is asked to go on the rescue mission. They rescue the being. He turns out to be dead, but he looks exactly like the Richard character. From some things they said, they think that this Richard, that this character was from the future, and that he looked like Richard because he probably was an ancestor of Richard. and that they came back in time to observe Richard because for some reason his alphabet is used in the future, so he must have become famous. So that's the theory at that point. And so they call this guy Richardson. So if I talk about Richardson, I'm of course talking about this mysterious guy. They also found out that a second ship was coming from what they thought was the future, and the second ship comes, and the person they rescue alive turns out to be the most beautiful girl that Richard has ever seen. And she, of course, thinks that this guy is her Richard from her world. And they turn out to be married, and they start relating stories and find out, I don't want to give it all away as to what really happened, but they find out that something bizarre has happened, and the story goes on to discover where they're from and who she is and who he is, and they eventually go to their world and have adventures in their world. That's where they go back in time. They also go to other universes. First time they go to another universe, it was accidental, and then on purpose they go to a third universe, have adventures there. There's a funny scene in the third universe because in the third universe he's helping that world catch a notorious criminal. After they catch him, for reasons that I won't give, but they suspect the Richard person of being accomplice, so they arrest him. And as they're taking him out of the building, the female character, whose name is Lacey, is talking to him through the grappo, and only to him, and saying, as soon as you get outside, I'm going to beam you back up, so to speak. Not really beaming, this is not a Star Trek story at all. But I'm going to pull you back up to rescue you. And he says, no, these people need to heal from what this other person did. If they feel that I need to go on trial, I'll let them put me on trial. And, of course, the cops, hearing him talking to himself, says, who are you talking to? He says, I'm talking to myself. And then, now talking again to Lacey, he says, we'll talk later. And then the cop says, and you schedule conversations with yourself, too? So there's comedy in there. There's sex and controversy. Of course, the Jesus story is controversy. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it, not just science fiction.
It sounds like you get some really interesting stuff. I can't wait to see this come out, and I hope that everything comes well for you, and sounds really good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for interviewing me.
No problem. Here, I'm Tibock at Shirley, 28.
There lies a patron that looked at the carpet too long.
What was that parlor ate? Especially since the lights are cranked.
Can you get a picture?
This masterpiece cost $3,500. This one took 7 years to make. And this one took 15 minutes. Notice the themes of yellow and red and orange truly have developed the most ugliest art in any hotel in the history of the United States. Notice the original colors used in this hotel. Here's a new variation of yellow. This is the $2 million artwork done by a 6-year-old. And this one came from the Wayne Patterson home. More yellow and red, the most dominant theme of the ugliest hotel ever seen in the history of mankind. This one was Van Gogh, Joe Van Gogh from New York City, Bowery Bum. This one has no explanation. In the ugliest hotel in America, we have various shades of corn in cages. Somebody said the carpet was corny. I think we found something cornier. Amen. Somebody was actually paid to do this. The man died of laughing to the bank.
Oh, get the carpet.
And then there was hotel grass, appreciated by the fandom with a hotel grass. It's decorated by Easter eggs. Here we are at Shore Leave 28, I think. Yeah, something like that. And I have a group behind me. I'm not sure if this is a typical street look, but I'm going to find out who they are, what they are, and what they're doing. And as fans of Trek and sci-fi and Sci-Fi Channel and movies, I think you might find these guys very interesting. Or you might find all of us very crazy. But who am I to talk? I'm going to start. Who's the leader?
That's John.
Pointing at me.
All right. Colonel.
Yes.
Colonel. And you are?
My name is Johnny Eichner. Founded Stargate-SOCOM, which we wanted to do a joint operations kind of a approach to the Stargate theme. And in that, sir, we were very proud to say we were 4 happy members doing Stargate costumes, and it quickly grew to over 100 members. And thus, this is our first Shore Leave, and as officially having a fan group and fan table here. So we're happy to be here to represent the club. We have around a dozen members, networking with friends, meeting up with some unexpected folks here.
Absolutely.
And it's been wonderful.
You're in a good location.
Very good location, and I think one of the things about our club that we strive for, we're all members of either Starfleet, 501st, Firefly groups, you name it, Klingon ships, and in those different aspects, we celebrate our science fiction within the club itself. And right now, I guess the expression that we're focusing on here today is actually Stargate.
Right.
Our members, there's no membership fee. That we're
Right.
proud of that.
Oh, wow.
And as well, our membership with our club that we do offer to folks is you do Stargate costuming your way. If you want to do a particular Stargate team, or you want to do a persona or an alien character, you're not limited at all.
So you're keeping the creativity back to the fan.
Exactly, yes,
All
sir.
right, all right. So the rules are you be enthused and have some passion in what you do.
Sure.
That's what my show is about, people with passion enjoying themselves.
If you've seen at least one show, then you're a dead member.
You know, there's another thing going on here, too. We are a mobile community,
Yes.
and that our community, it travels from convention to convention. And when we get together, whether it's this week or next month, or next year, there's no time span, you know. So I would like to just talk about your character.
Well, basically, they said have at it, do whatever you want. So I decided to go full sniper. Of course, you don't see any snipers on Stargate.
Well, I do now.
Well, yeah, now you do. Well, if you see them on the show, they're doing their job wrong.
Okay. So, if I can see the sniper, he's doing a job wrong.
Exactly. And I actually ran into Ike and Wraith here last year. He was kind enough to have me come down to his house, and we had a massive barbecue, paintball, airsoft, just had a really great time. And that's the main thing that we're keyed on as a fan club is, everybody knows you work with a budget. You don't have to have the high dollar stuff. You can come in civvies.
Right.
It doesn't matter to us.
It's attitude and how you project it. That's what it's about.
As long as you come to have a good time, you're welcome with open arms. And, you might get mistaken for something, you might not, everything from Moss to, Wookiees.
Talking trees.
He does a good Wookiee impression.
Give me a Wookiee impression. If you notice we're at a different location, it's because they had to use the gate. Sometimes things have to go, and I can't help it. I just have to move to let progress go. The Klingons can't get through the gate today. The Romulans haven't gotten through the gate, and the Ferengi can't afford the gate. They wouldn't part with the buck. So, where were we? Well, let's get over here. Mike.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. So how long you been into this stuff?
I've been a fan of Stargate for about 3-4 years. I remember when the movie came out with Kurt Russell. Enjoyed the movie. Special effects was fantastic. I was still in the military at the time, so I couldn't sit down and actually watch it week by week and try to record it. And when you're here today, gone tomorrow, you're wind up with God knows what. So when the set came out on DVD, I bought the entire series and sat down and watched it.
Right.
And I'm like, cool, this is great. And Carl, who's running around here somewhere, he's a member of our group, got me interested into it. And I said, okay, fine. He is the commanding officer of our group, SSD, Special Services Division, SOCOM, which is Special Operations Command. And what has happened was, he says, well, we're going to do this and this. I said, okay, fine. They're walking through.
No, it's all right. Humans, they walk through the shot.
I know, it's walking through.
We're in a great place to do interviews, but not in a great physical location. So our audience will bear with it.
That'll work.
And we're in focus, and they won't be.
Great. So anyway, we got into Stargate as role-playing and the costuming, which was really great. I already had the fatigues from the military.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, fine. It's really great. It's a nice bunch of people. They're not a bunch of crazies.
No.
You got to be a little nuts to run around. Well, that's true, too. You got to be a little bit of nuts to run around in the woods in the winter, in the summertime. It's fun. We have a good time. It's family-orientated. We try to keep it.
You got to shoot video and make fandom movies.
Well, yeah, but we try to.
2007.
Yeah, 2007. Okay, 2007.
All right, there you go. Then I can show a little of your movie on there. It doesn't have to be just Revelations and a couple of Star Trek and Batman films by the fans. It can be a little of everything.
Yeah.
And besides that, if the studio's not doing it right anymore, if that be the case, I'm not saying they're not, the fans will do it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
the fans will show them what we want.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is love and passion.
All right, we were disconnected before.
Yeah. I'm Second Lieutenant Wraith. I'm one of the founding members of STG-SOCOM. Johnny Eichner came to our Star Trek club, the USS Maelstrom, about 3-4 years ago. And he was already a very passionate fan of Stargate. And the rest of us were too, but he just brought an enthusiasm and interest into the club that we didn't have before. And also introduced airsoft to us, which we instantly fell in love with, because we all he's got a huge yard that's set up perfect for skirmishing and everything. And the first Stargate weekend we had at his house following Fantasy in Chesapeake, we just had the time of our lives. I mean, we did airsoft skirmishing, target shooting, between hamburgers and hot dogs, and so we just got a
So
total.
you guys talk role play. You really talk role play.
Yeah, we skirmish and live action role play, and we also have an online role playing game. Where each of us has our own character, and we just we pick a mission, and then we go into it and we interact with each other and make up our own individual character line and just have a total blast with it. But as Ike said before, the enthusiasm has just skyrocketed. I mean, we distinguish ourselves from the others in that you can be anything you want to be. I mean, you can take any theme of Stargate and put any twist on it you want to, and roll with it.
In the early days of what I do, I had fans come up to me and go, "Spock." I go, "No," and they start throwing me Zybeck, no Zenbock. Zybeck, you're doing it wrong because in episode, and I look at that like, give me a break.
That's too. That's more or less too.
Exactly.
They're more constrictive. We're very liberal.
Yeah.
Like Stargate is all designed as Air Force.
Right.
Now I'm retired Navy, so we have some Navy, Army, and some Marine personnel. So hence SOCOM. We all mixed together, and I said, okay, fine, that'll work just as well.
Right.
Which is good. And everyone plays their different parts, the roles, which is great. We did this year again. We're doing a second paintball incident over in West Virginia. It's really good. The first one was a blast. We do the Stargate theme. We have scenarios. This one wrote them up. Ike wrote them up. Yeah, he was a sick. He is a sick and twisted individual. And
That's a compliment, by the way, in this
It
field.
is a compliment. I'm not being facetious. That is a compliment. He is a sick and twisted individual. And this year we're doing the same thing again, but he will be there this year. So instead of him sending us the scenarios, he's going to be doing them. Let's say he'll be the victim.
All right.
Payback.
All right.
Payback.
But
Well, you guys probably shed a whole new light on paintball.
yeah,
Yes.
paintball and airsoft. Yeah, I mean we love every aspect of it, and every opportunity we have to come and proudly represent SG-SOCOM. We
You
jump
guys jumped past that laser tag days, huh?
Oh yeah.
at. Yeah, that's for the
Came
wannabes.
around.
Laser tag is for the wannabes.
But when it came out, it was like, it was state of the art.
It was
it
new,
then.
it was-
It
yeah,
it.
it
But
was-
now, with the airsoft and stuff like that, that's the new laser tag.
This puts the realism into our skirmishing. I mean, because Blackwater Security down there in Moyock, I know some people in Blackwater, and they do their close quarters combat training with airsoft weapons, and so it just adds that touch of realism to the skirmishing, and it's safe, but it gives you the realism you're looking for, and makes it really exciting, and just everything that encompasses SG-SOCOM is what we love and what we're about.
All right, well, I thank you guys for the time. And hopefully we'll come across you guys next year. On to with bigger and better things as well.
Yes, sir.
That's an exclusive on Zenbock's Forte.
All right, let's give it up for a little bit of Dee Harris.
Thank you.
When you get home, babe, won't you ride me through your ride? When you get home, babe, won't you ride me through your ride? Lord, now my congregation, oh, hear my word, mine. I'm going down to the river. I'm gonna sit down on the ground. Yeah. I'm going down to the river. I'm gonna sit down on the ground. Yeah. I'm gonna let the weight of the water wash my trouble now. Yeah, this might be on a new Jim Trade Line album coming out this summer. When you get home, babe, I've been through your lies. When you get home, baby, I've been through your lies. Lord, that my congregation in my word, mine. Thank you very much. Thank you to Howie for sneaking me in here. I feel like John Sebastian at Woodstock, just have a guitar around me. Can you put me on for a couple tunes. I just want to say something about this guitar. This guitar was made by my neighbor in his garage, who is here today, Billy Lagmasino. And him and Luke Alvino started on this project right before Luke died. And it's a steel body guitar. My friend is a welder. So he welded this in his garage. We just put a gilt neck on it. And I love how very rustic it is. Then my other neighbor made the case from scratch. Charlie Frizzell. So it's a beautiful thing having your neighbors making your equipment for you, case and guitar, from scratch. Yes, move to my neighborhood, please. This is a song that Lukey and I did with his wife Lisa, and we were in a group called Mainline Gospel Blues. And of course I'm very biased. I think it's his best musical project, but I am biased. But Lukey did tell me that if he quit music altogether, he would not stop playing with the Mainline Gospel Blues. So that was a cool thing. Here's Jesus on the Main Line by the same person who did the first song, which is Mississippi Crevic Down. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want, yeah. Tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want, yeah. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. If you're sick and you can't get well, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want, yeah. Jesus on the main line, Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, oh yeah. Call him up and tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Jesus on the main line. Jesus on the main line. Call him up and tell him what you want, yeah. Thank you.
Guys, I need serious help right here. We got an alien on the loose. Okay? Are you guys all ready for this? All right. What's your positions?